This is a precipitation map. On this map, you can see the amounts of precipitation in different parts of the country. As the precipitation predictor, you will go through your region, finding different areas of precipitation. Then, you will go through and analyze that information and tell us what you've learned. This is a climate map. There are many kinds of climates here in the US, including humid subtropic, highland, and tropical, and many others. As the climate historian, you will pick a specific city in your region, and then, by using the Farmer's Almanac online, go through 5 different years, analyzing the kind of weather that attributes to that climate, and explaining why that climate matches your city. This is a temperature map. As you can see, different colors represent different temperatures. As the temperature analyst, you will be going through 3 major cities in your region and analyzing their temperatures, how they're different, how they're the same, how cloud cover, time of day, and wind direction all affects the temperature on a day-to-day basis. Finally, we have the frontline specialist, but I have someone a little bit more qualified to explain this one to you.
I hear you guys are learning about weather, so we're going to talk a couple of things about weather systems and fronts and kind of how those all come together to make weather, and then we'll talk a little bit about your forecast. So first off, we're going to talk about understanding what goes on in a weather map. So first, we've got cold air, and as it pushes further to the south, along the leading edge of where that cold air is advancing is where we would set up a cold front, and that's going to be this blue line here with all these triangles, and they point in the direction the cold front is moving. Now on the other side, we have a warm front. We have a mass of warm air moving northward, or in any direction. The leading edge of that warm air mass is where we draw this warm front, which is going to be the little red line with the half circles. The best way to remember it is they're like little half suns, so they're always denoting warmer air. You kind of work it out that way, where sun, warmth, warm front, right, like that. So that's how we denote where a warm front lays. Now, when we start moving and adding in things like pressure systems, we have a low pressure system right here. Air around a low pressure system moves counterclockwise and inward. So when we start putting those air masses around that area of low pressure, we begin to see just a few things happening here. The warm air surging northward, that's where the warm front is. The cold front surging southward, that's where we line up that cold front. And then we zoom in closer where we get all the precipitation. What's going to happen here is you've got this air coming down from the north and this air kind of going towards the north and east. What happens is this piles up as it gets close to this warm air mass and it starts to lift. So where these meet, all that wind meets, we call that convergence, the meeting of air. And when it happens, it starts to go, it has nowhere to go, so it has to go up. And once that starts going up, that's where we start to get clouds and rain. And usually along the cold frontal side of a storm is where we'll see things like thunderstorms. But on the warm frontal side, over to the north, that's where we'll start to see just broad areas of rain and showers and cloudiness. And as that comes through, well, the weather gets a little bit cooler. Now, high pressure, a little bit different. High pressure systems, air goes clockwise and outwards from an area of high pressure. So why don't we ever see any rain or anything near an area of high pressure? When you have all of this air moving outwards, it's actually like if you were going to turn the hose right on the ground. What happens is that water goes down and it spreads out. You don't have any lift, so you don't have anything to create that upflow of moisture to create any precipitation. So usually when we talk about high pressure, we talk about nice weather.
You will assume the role of one of these 4 experts and work with your Weather Maps team to create an amazing presentation about your region. I hope you're ready, and good luck.